in line with our theme of why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary. Gonna spotlight a few of our family members and just tell some stories that speak to their extraordinary journeys. Let me know if you can't hear me. We don't have a microphone. Okay? Okay. All right. Good. We chose as our 2017 RDHG Annual Family Reunion theme, Why Be Ordinary When You Can Be Extraordinary, a phrase coined by author Diane Miller in 1992, who speaks often to women groups, inspiring them to be all that they can be. We chose this phrase because we feel that it speaks encouragement to the longevity and the legacy of our family history. British lay theologian C.S. Lewis says, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. We have come to know that hardships can move us out of our ordinary comfort zones and propel us towards extraordinary destinies. When our reunion began in 1968, it was planned and carried out by some very ordinary women who had the vision to create something that has propelled all of us toward an extraordinary destiny. It is said that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. We continue to stand on the shoulders of those who are willing to give that little extra. And many of us are giving our children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren shoulders upon which to stand by simply giving that little extra. We want to take time out to spotlight a few individuals that provide examples of extraordinary journeys within our family. So these are those two ordinary women whose idea it was to have a family reunion. Marty Robinson Strange and Ora Lee C. Robinson. Marty Robinson Strange, the daughter of Levi and Sevilla Robinson, and Ora Lee C. Robinson, the wife of Amos Robinson, grew tired of only seeing their family when it was time to gather for a funeral. They took the initiative to create an event where all of the families could come together in joyous celebration. Marty called and coordinated plans for all of the Georgia families, and Ora called and coordinated the plans and activities for all of the Florida families. When all of their legwork was complete, the first reunion was set and held July 19th, 1968. It was agreed upon at the first reunion that the family would continue to reunite each July for an annual reunion celebration. And fast forward 49 years later, and here we are. Levi Robinson Sr., the late Levi Robinson Sr., is being spotlighted for taking a leap of faith in an effort to provide a better life for his family. He lived as a sharecropper from the day he was born during a very racially tumultuous time period. Robinson Sr. worked on the Wall Plantation in Terrell County, Georgia with his parents, Lee Robinson and Mariah Robinson. Later on, he eventually witnessed his father successfully rent a piece of property in Terrell County, which he farmed by himself for his family. As a young 24-year-old man, he and his new wife, Sevilla Hodge, left from their residence of origin in Calhoun County, Georgia, on to the Wall Plantation, where Levi had previously lived and farmed with his parents. They lived there for several years until he decided to rent a piece of property on a neighboring plantation, where they lived until 1940. Just to give you guys an idea of what was going on during that time, the Great Depression was well underway. Black people were experiencing the blunt of the blow then. Lack of employment, inadequate food were some of their troubles. Employment was favored towards the whites at that time. After President Roosevelt's New Deal initiatives came into play, determined to make a better way for his family, Levi mustered up the gumption to pursue a property purchase from the government. The requirement, according to Floyd Robinson Sr., was that all of the family members had to be determined healthy in order for him to get the property. If that was met, the head of the household could purchase property according to the size of his family. Levi acquired 122.11 acres, which is known to all of us now as the home and location of the big oak tree in Dawson, Georgia. What a story, huh? Moving right along. George Robinson Grimes is being spotlighted for his tremendous act of sacrifice towards his family. George Robinson Grimes, the brother of Levi Robinson Sr., grew up as a farm laborer working daily on a plantation with his mother in an area near Dawson, Georgia. The story is told that at some point in his young adulthood, George was forced to protect his mother from a white overseer while they were working on a plantation. The man assaulted his mother after she did something apparently that he didn't like, leading George to strike the man in the head with a piece of iron, fatally wounding him. George then immediately walked away from the field that day and fled for fear of his life, leaving his mother, wife, and family on the plantation, never returning. It was also believed that he stayed away as well for their protection, for his protection. He went into exile, ultimately changing his name from George Robinson to George Grimes. This speaks volumes to the amount of courage, determination, and faith a man has to have to leave family in an ultimate act of self-sacrifice to ensure that his family remains safe.
Hallelujah.
All right. Alan and Jan Dixon, they're being spotlighted for their unwavering commitment to their family, which was evident by their willingness to alter their small pickup truck to accommodate family members other than their own children to accompany the first family reunion held in Dawson, Georgia. Having driven through the night to make it to the one-day reunion, upon arrival, they parked under the big oak tree and settled there for a night's rest inside of the full pickup truck. In continuing with their commitment to family and the reunion tradition, Alan and Jan stewarded family members in the Miami area to become a host location to take some of the burden off of the Clewiston family and the other reunion locations to support a rotational family reunion model. This was all in support of avoiding any specific family branch or location to feel pressured to volunteer to host the next reunion. True exemplification of love and selflessness. And our last lovely family member to be spotlighted is Sevilla Hodge. I call her, I learned her as Mama Sevilla. Mama Sevilla earned her spotlight from her endless acts of kindness that she expressed towards family and those in the community. Upon entering into the Robinson family, Mama Sevilla soon made her mark. She treated Levi Robinson Sr.'s family as her own, his siblings and her in-laws. Whenever anyone became ill, she would be willing to even travel via bus to go care for them and to stay as long as necessary. She never looked for anything in return and did it without a second thought. She was a community mother and a mother to all she knew who could use her love and care. She was even recognized at her church, Mount Mary Baptist Church, as Mother of the Year for all her selfless acts of kindness. And that, as you guys can see there, is the article that they had, they wrote in recognition of her. Some of the verbiage that was included in that article. In honoring her, they stated, for her skillful work and faithfulness in the church as well as community, Mrs. Robinson has been affiliated with the following auxiliaries of the church. She was the secretary of the church for 27 years, the president of the mission for 12 years. She was an adult Sunday school teacher and secretary for another number of years. So Mama Sevilla was one of the true matriarchs of our family, nonetheless. So those are our members that we wanted to spotlight here. And I just want to say that we have just so many reasons to be proud of our family and where we come from. And it just really, it's powerful to see all the things that they went through back then. To get that land. If he never did get that land, would there have been a first reunion? So just for reflection upon all of those who are already familiar with all of those stories, and then for our young people who may not have ever heard those stories, that's just information for you to have, to know that this is the kind of family that you come from. These are the kind of people that you come from. Now is the time for anybody, if they feel moved to do so, to share their own personal story or journey, or someone else in the family who they feel like should be highlighted. Because there are lots more, not just those family members, but there are lots more. And some stories that, I may not know, or here the Atlanta Host family members may not know, but are worth mentioning. Don't be shy.